Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Open-Minded Mystics. Today's Monday, June 14th. My name is Donna V. I'm here with Kim Mazzella and Tracy Locke, and I'm so excited to be here. Ladies, how's Mercury in retrograde working out for you?
Hi! As you can see, it's working out beautifully for me. And look at this, look at these luxurious digs I'm in. I am in Coconut Butt's office, ladies and gentlemen, so please forgive the background. As you can tell, he's quite a rock and roll fan. And so it looks like I'm in like a recording booth.
I think it's perfect for the topic that we're talking about tonight. And I think it's perfect because honestly, we always make things work wherever we go. That is one thing that as open-minded mystics and as strong, badass women, we accomplish. And I think that just goes to show you that that's, perseverance.
Yes, totally. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Did that just happen for all of it? That just went...
Well, the skies just opened up.
Okay.
And it is downpouring, and thunder and lightning all of a sudden.
I think you got struck by lightning because as I was talking to you, all the pictures went out. And it was just these circular things.
No.
Kind of like Ryan's tattoo. It just went.
Speaking of, good evening.
Hey! Boswell is in the house.
Hello from Ireland. Lovely. Isn't it lovely?
Very.
Okay, so let's just say this. First things first, before we get into our advertisement, before we get into anything, let's recap how amazing was Valerie from Witches Cove last week.
Oh,
we love her.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. I had so many comments from friends who watched and they absolutely loved her. And they were like, not only was she super knowledgeable, she was super knowledgeable. Her delivery was really straightforward. It didn't feel like airy-fairy. It felt like very factual. She had so much great information, and she does so many different things that the people that I know that were watching her were like, oh, my God, I have to make an appointment with her now. And as a matter of fact, I talked to Valerie, and she had over 4 different appointments just from that one so far. It's been like, what, not even a week?
Yeah.
And she's like, I have all these people calling me from the show. And I was like, that is fantastic.
That's what we're hoping for.
We're hoping for that. We love that for our sponsors. But not only that, you're worth it. She was amazing. So I booked my appointment and I'm going to see her next week. I cannot wait. I'm doing the soul journey with her and I'm going to do some other things with her. I just can't. She's got like such a extensive list of things that you could do with her that I just cannot wait. And I'll be reporting that back.
I'm
so excited.
I can't wait to hear it.
I know. Welcome to the show, Dawn Maloney. How are you, beautiful? I will tell you this. I actually also called and made my appointment, and I couldn't get until July because I had to wait till the week that I'm on vacation. I work late nights, and the last appointment she takes is at 8:00. And I thought, well, you know what? I'm really looking forward to it because it gives me something fun to, look forward to and do. And I'm actually going to do mine in the afternoon. I took a 1:00 so that this way I will be in this amazing state of mind from doing story time. I'll come out. I'll have quiet time. And I'm going to do the soul journey also. And I cannot wait. Hey, Jerry Reesby, what's going on? Yay. I'm so excited. That's great. I love it. All the way from Texas. And Angela Grace is here. You've been
Oh
She's
God.
So busy.
I know. I cannot wait. So I have to ask you regarding that. When do you get your soul painting? How long does that usually take? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I didn't want to be pushy. And I asked the other day how it was going because one of the things that during our session that that we spoke about was that the soul will continue to talk to her. And that's how she, paints. So
right.
I was having, I've been having the craziest dreams lately, like not great dreams. So I was messaging back and forth with Angela and she gave me a really great piece of advice. And if I can share it, you please let me know. If you say I could share it, then I'll let everybody else know.
Is that about the star and ace?
No, that I put up from one of the people that we became friendly with on Instagram. Instagram is amazing. I have to give, Ryan a shout out. We call him Boswell, all kidding aside, but he is like a mastermind behind all the stories that you see. And he sits there in his house. I picture him like hunched over in Ireland with the dogs running around and he's like making all this creativity and it's just amazing. So, hey, Julie, how are you? Good evening, ladies. Julie's Healing Channel's here. That's
all right. I love it.
Love the picture, too.
Yeah, that's
no. Oh, that is a beautiful picture. That is
Yeah.
a beautiful picture.
Ooh, healing channel. I love that. I'm so excited. Yeah, we have so many new members of our community that I'm so excited about. And they're communicating with us and like giving us all these cool messages and great information.
I love it.
So now on Open Minded Mystics, since Boswell has taken over, not only is it tell you like what's going on our page, but you can find out what's going on within our community. So it's really opening up the community, the mystic community. And we have so many cool people now that we know through Open Minded Mystics and Boswell. It just feels really exciting. And it feels like we were all talking about this, that the possibilities are endless of all the great things we can all do and learn about together. So I'm so psyched about it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kim, you go.
And I was going to say, we had a mystic date this week. We all got together in person, which was awesome. It was so much fun. And we had the best pizza ever. And it was just such a wonderful experience to just, see where we've come and see where we're going. I'm really excited about all the new things that are coming up. And I cannot thank Brian enough for really being part of the team.
Yeah, he is. He's part of the team. It is Open-Minded Mystics. That's right, Jerry. This planet needs this network. Thank you.
Exactly, Donna. That's exactly what we're saying. We're like, we know so many cool people now that do so many cool things and help people in such different ways that we could bring everyone together and nothing would everything would overlap in the fact that it all is relevant, but nothing would overlap in the skill set. It's so cool. It's like having this team of like superheroes. It's like the Hall of Justice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do this, you can do that, he can do this, they can do that.
I feel like it's like a deck of cards where the deck of cards can stand independently alone, like the pieces and the players, just like in a tarot card or just a regular deck of cards.
Right.
The fact is that you can shuffle them, you can stack them, you can it's just, I think it's amazing. But I want to say that Gayla said to me that, just so you guys all know, my soul is not chatty at night. It's chatty during the day. I just wanted to share that.
I can't believe that your soul is not chatty. I would think your soul would be chatty constantly.
Well, during the evening when I am having these weird dreams, apparently I'm really into the dreams. Look who's here! It's Dark Witch.
Oh,
yes, we love it. We have to have you back on.
I know.
Pride Month. I've been seeing all your posts. I'm so excited for you. It's beautiful, all the things you're putting up and out there. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I
know. I'm so excited. And that's what I said. I was like, this is the coolest thing. And it's just growing and growing and growing. And we want to keep it up. Yes, only during the day. Hilarious.
Isn't it amazing?
Grace, I don't know how you got her to stop talking. Yeah, I don't know.
So fun.
It's amazing. Well, I have to say that we have amazing sponsors. And I know we want to talk about them before we get fully into the show.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, but I'm going to wait for that. You're going to go first. Whoever wants to go first, would it be?
I'm going to go first. You know what? Because I'm so excited about this new sponsor. They are incredible. It's the Witch of Dusk shop. Okay. So Donna, put this up because this is so beautiful. They're giving us 50% off. And so Witch of Dusk, Open Minded Mystics 15, and they have jewelry, witchy tools, clothing, decor, accessories, all kinds of stuff. But here's the cool part. Free international shipping, which is huge. If you guys do any ordering online, the fact that they have free shipping is like bonus. But not only that, I've been on this shop a bunch of times. They have such cool stuff. Like they have really like witty shirts that I love. They have this one I'm totally getting. It says Plant Witch, and it's like got all these cool plants, and it's like all these different like funny shirts about being a witch. They have home decor. They have witchy goods. They have jewelry. But everything, they have like astrology necklaces, travel altars, protection spells, you name it. Witch of Dusk has it. And here's the most exciting part. I'm going to say it again. We get 15% off. It's all you have to do is put Open Minded Mystics 15. Go to Witch of Dusk. You'll be thrilled that you did. Whew.
Yeah, you can check them out, witchofdusk.com, and you can go to Instagram.
Yeah, can you tell how excited I was? I'm like, I'm getting my Plant Witch shirt. It's coming. It's coming.
I know. I love it.
That's awesome.
It. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm up. I want to talk about Official Floramenta. You've got to check her out on Instagram, but on Instagram, you can get led to her website. This woman, she's an ADHD coach. There is not many of them out there. She specializes in it, but she also specializes in health and wellness and nutrition. And I mean, if you read her website, she just sounds like she's cutting edge and so lovely. And she wants people to be able to afford the product. So she wants people to be able to get help. So if you need help, it's affordable. And right now she's so affordable. She's giving 50% off all her services.
What?
50% off a 1 hour session. That is insane.
That's
You have to check her out. Her services look awesome. If you read all about her, she just seems like she's so open to wellness and healing. And she's just absolutely a mystic, just like part of our community. You have to check her out.
I'm really excited because you know what? She's actually an up and coming guest. She will be, she'll be a show on our show July 12th. So go check everything out that Kim just talked about. You can find her on Instagram. You can find her website. And then you will be able to find her as a guest on our show.
And I just want to say her name, Floramente.
Oh, I love her name. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's really beautiful.
What else is beautiful? The product from the Dirty Bone Soap Company.
We love
you guys got to witness it finally when we got together on Wednesday. You got to see it, you got to touch it, you got to smell it, which was great because it does. This doesn't even do it justice, right? When you see it,
it's so cool up in person. And I have my Dirty Bones sticker on my computer, and I've already gotten stopped by someone that was like, "That's really cool. What's Dirty Bones?" And I had to tell them
Dirty Bones Soap Company, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. A Latina-owned company. They offer the most stunning ornamental soap, and with the code all caps Monday 10, they're offering our mystics and the viewers that watch 10% off. So you could check them out on Instagram. They have a 5-star Etsy rating. And did I say it one more time? They are from Atlanta, Georgia. It's an American-made product, but yet they are a Latina-owned company. It is like, forget it. I mean, everything is just beautifully packaged. You're getting these pouches, and they have the wax, the seals. I love it. I love it. I love it. But you could also get customized products. They will make you a customized soap. You can have a chat with them, and you could say, I'd like maybe you would like to send somebody for a significant other, a significant scent or as a stone. I mean, you have to go check out their page because honestly, when you look at the soaps and the things that they are selling, and I'm going to put this back up here one more time, it looks like you're looking at crystals, but they're actual soaps.
You know what's so funny? I went over to, I was at Sherry's, and she ordered soap from them, which is so exciting. And she got blueberry. And the crazy part is I walked into her kitchen. I was like, it smells so good. Are you making like blueberry muffins? I had no idea. And she's like, no, it's the soap from Dirty Bones. I was like, get out of here.
Yeah,
her Dirty Bones soap is almost gone. And what did she get it like 2 weeks ago? I was like, what? She goes, I use it all the time. She got blueberry, but it's not like overpowering sweet. It's like a really fresh. That's what I really like about this Dirty Bone soaps. Like, I'm not a floral person. I like earthy scents, and it was, oh my God, really nice. Like earthy, nice, clean.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out right after the show because you know what? That'd be a great Father's Day gift.
Yes.
Anything that we're talking about would be a great Father's Day gift. Yes. And you just think you're going to ship it. You could ship it right to the house where you want the gift to go, which is what I love. I'm like,
takes out the legwork.
I know that's silly, but like that. Remember when you just would only order something to your own home, then you'd have to package it, bring it to somebody. Now just send it to them. I've just learned so much.
And how about the stuff with so for Witch of Desk Shop, it's free shipping. Oh my God. So that whenever I order and I see free shipping, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally going with this. I hate when they go, you have to have this amount of money to ship. I understand why they do it, but whenever I see free shipping, I'm like, bazanga.
You know what I'm going to do really quick? I'm putting up Nikki's little shop of horror.
Little shop of horror.
You can get 10% off. And then don't forget Mystic Moon Pixie. She's got amazing things. Crystal 30. I just feel like
I'm feeling generous today.
I'm just feeling really generous.
That's awesome. Okay, why are you feeling generous? Kim, let's talk about how we're all feeling because we all have weird. Wait, first I have to ask you this. As the official audience member, okay, you guys have mentioned it a million times, and I kind of get it, but I kind of don't. When you say Mercury is in retrograde, and everybody says that as an excuse, but what does that actually mean? So if you're someone that really kind of knows your stuff, what does that actually mean?
It doesn't really mean that Mercury is going backwards. It means that the way we perceive Mercury is that it is going backwards, right? So it's not really going backwards. But what Mercury retrograde really means is that it's a couple things happen. It's really a chance to review things to get them right. But what Mercury in retrograde typically means is that Mercury rules communication.
Okay.
So communication also rules all technology. So when Mercury's in retrograde, things that aren't perfect aren't going to go well, right? So I have been, it's really interesting because I've been implementing a program and starting to do the techie part of it. And I started to do it in Mercury retrograde. So what happens is communications will fail sometimes in Mercury retrograde. It's very, you don't want to sign any legal documents when Mercury is in retrograde without doing a ton of magnetizing and pre-paving and manifesting. Because what will happen when Mercury is in retrograde is anything that is not going well or any communications can falter or not go well. So when Mercury is in retrograde, you don't, cars break down, trains aren't on time, the computer will break down, or
so everything is on the fritz. It's like Y2K where it didn't happen, but in Mercury retrograde. Okay, so you say Mercury retrograde because I always heard it's Mercury is in retrograde. Does it matter how you say it? Okay,
it's the planet looks like it's moving backwards. That's what.
So basically, okay, it means like the shit's gonna hit the fan. Is like
it means that communications will hit the fan. So.
And if your fan is hooked up to Alexa, it's really going to hit the fan.
You're really in trouble. Okay.
You're really in trouble.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I know one of the other things that we were going to talk about tonight, and I can't wait to hear what Kim has to say about this, is feeling overwhelmed and how to handle it and how we each handle it. And I mean, I have my own stuff. I want to hear from you, Kim, because when we were discussing tonight's topic, aside from the fact that we are going to recap about how amazing, Valerie was, and I have something I'm going to add after, but what is it that you want to tell everybody about the feeling of overwhelmment? Do you think that has to do with Mercury in retrograde?
Well, I think that it could. And I also remember, I always say belief trumps everything, right? So if you do not believe that Mercury in retrograde will affect you, just like I always say, if you believe you can eat whatever you want to eat and you will weigh a certain pound and you really believe it in your gut, you will. If you really believe that Mercury in retrograde, I think that's stronger than anything, right? That being said, most of us, it would take us a long time to really believe that we could eat whatever we wanted, right? So you got to kind of be careful. But what I feel like goes on in June tends to be graduations and Father's Day, and everybody all of a sudden wants to go to the beach and everybody wants to do summer. And so that summer feeling comes on and we feel overwhelmed. So overwhelmed to me means that a bunch of things. We could feel like there's too much on our plate, or we feel that when energetically overwhelmed often means there's too many people in your energy field. Okay.
Wow.
So think about it. If you didn't care what anybody thought, if you didn't care what anybody wanted, and you were going through your life, would you feel as overwhelmed as you feel when you care what they think, what they're going to say, how it's going to go? I have 2 parties coming up and 2 graduations and 2, like, it's insanity in my life. And I go to bed at night and I'm like, wow, I got to do every tool in my toolbox right now to stay at peace. And I'm so grateful I know so many tools. But then I think, what would you do if you didn't have all these tools? And how do you manage, feeling completely overwhelmed, especially because you feel like you could get like that or blow up or get in fights or things break down. So on top of all the stuff going on in June, we've got Mercury in retrograde. So I just think it's been a crazy time. So I thought today we could talk about getting overwhelmed, what it means to you and what you do. So I'm going to offer the first tool, right? When I'm overwhelmed, the first thing that I do, and it's so simple, is just I take a deep breath and I say, I release everybody from my energy field. So it's just pushing everybody. I get to decide what's important or not. I get to decide what anything means, like, right? Because what I wear, what I don't wear, what I look like, what I don't, like any of those things can make you feel not enough, or like I'm not going to succeed at what I'm trying to do. And also being able to say, no, I can't do that. And being able to be okay with less than perfect, right? Isn't this, we have perfect pictures in our head? So being able to be like, so I have this party coming up in 2 weeks, and I've decided done is more important than perfect, right? That once I decided done was more important than perfect, and no one's going to care what it looks like, I just relaxed, like, because I don't care what it looks like. To me, it's more about what it feels like, and I could create what it feels like really easily. What it looks like, that's not my forte, right? That might be yours, Donna, or yours, Tracy.
No, I mean, it's funny because as you're saying that, the visual that I'm getting in my mind is I picture holding a bunch of helium balloons in each hand and having an itch on my nose. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to let go of this energy, because if I don't let go of this energy, I'm not going to be able to take care of myself properly. And
that's beautiful.
And that's really what it is. So sometimes we have to like learn to really release something, or all of it is kind of what I'm getting from what you're saying. And you know, for me, I know, like, I want to hear about your rampage. I know you're going to talk about that tonight, but I know for me, I turn to gratitude. I like sit there. In fact, I started a new segment with story time about trying to, you know, include optimism every day, trying to figure out a way to, you know, make it so that we do see the glass half full, like starting that and filling a jar. And it's a practice that I am sincerely starting this month, trying to write down things that are going well, putting it in a jar. And then at the end of the month, look at it and then think to myself, how much do I remember all the negativity from the month? And how much do I really feel impacted by the positivity? Because I think what a lot of us do and why we get overwhelmed is we forget that one negative moment could really be that pin that pops the balloons, and just like let go of it first. Don't give it the opportunity to like get you that upset.
And one of the things that I wrote about today, I don't know if you saw my post, but I talked about the fact that, like, I really believe that we only have space for like one thought at a time in our head. We only can rent room for one space at a time.
I need more renting because I think I have ADD.
I have a lot of rooms to rent
a lot in a row, but I don't think you could think about many thoughts all at the same time, right?
Right.
And if you know that what you think is going to lead you to your next thought, and you only have space for so many thoughts, why not? There's always going to be a thought that will irritate you if you look for it. And there will always be a thought that will bring you gratitude or something that you could appreciate if you look for that too. And why not look for the things to appreciate? Because if you really believe, and one of the things that I really love about my age, like being my age, is I really believe the things I teach, and I really do the things I teach. And you get to a certain point in your life, and I'm like, I'm just not willing to pretend it's okay for me to sit and complain. I'm not willing to pretend it's okay for me to sit and focus on what I don't want. Now, sometimes I get there, but thankfully, I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, oh, I'm creating what I don't want right now. I'm focused on something that's irritating me. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better thought. Even if it's sometimes I bring a song, because I have my coworkers say I have my list of greatest hits, and like all of a sudden I start singing a song. For some reason, for me, singing a song under my breath but kind of out loud does help me shift that energy, because I have those songs that make me happy, the songs that like just lift me up, and they're just silly songs that I just like, you know, I'm not going to sing them, but I sing them under my breath, and they really do kind of help me shift that energy. But I do want to talk about a rampage of, yes, choose your thoughts wisely. I do want to talk about a rampage of appreciation, but I just wanted to ask Tracy, I know you've got a lot going on. Well,
I do have a lot going on. My niece and nephew are here. They're here for the next, like, they've been here for like 4 days, and they're 9 and 11, and they're so full of energy, and they're like the lights of my life. But I said to the ladies when I got on, I don't know how moms get anything done. I talk about overwhelm. It's like trying to juggle like 3 different people's personalities and their needs while trying to do your own. So what I do is, like Kim was talking about, taking a deep breath. So, which is really great. So I've been taking a deep breath, and then I yell out, "The power of Christ compels you." And then I yell out, "Devil, get behind me." And, demon be gone. No, it's just hilarious. What you do have to take. I do actually find myself taking a lot of deep breaths, because it's like you want to fly off the handle. And then you're like, is this really worth flying off the handle? No, absolutely not. When I was younger, I totally would have flown off the handle. But because I'm working and doing this work, I definitely really stop and think of like, okay, what can I do in this moment that's a better choice than what I really want to do? And I find myself actually doing it. And that's a tool that I was like, when we first said it, and I was like, is that really going to work? Can I think a better thought? Is that really going to work? Yeah, it actually does. And that's what I've been doing, is like thinking a better thought of like, okay, they're young, they're inquisitive, they want to know cool stuff. It's like, hey, how lucky am I that I get to tell them that they even care enough to talk to me. There's going to come a time when they don't want to have anything to do with me, and I'm going to be crying and so sad.
I doubt that.
No, but I mean, they're already getting too cool for school.
But I think because of the way that you are and the way that you handle it, I think that you will escape that. I really do believe that. I'm really feel very blessed and really lucky that both of my kids still actually want to spend time with me.
Right.
And my biggest fear is like that I'm going to want to go and they're not going to want to let me. But I mean, it's so cushy that they're just going to be like, what do you mean you want to leave the house? We'll give you more books. But in all sincerity, I don't think so, Tracy. I think you're really doing a great job. And I think that you they're never going to want to not talk to you. I think that it's parents that have a serious lack of communication or the helicopter parents.
Right.
Kids are like, I'm out.
Right. That I totally get. And I see that too. And it's so interesting, all the different parenting styles. But I want to say to the parents out there, oh my goodness, super kudos to you guys, because that you get anything done while having children is amazing. I mean, I know there's a trick to it. Like once you have them around for a while, you kind of figure it out. But I was like, oh my God. So yes, the feeling of overwhelm, but also one thing that was really great that occurred this week, which I want to talk about because it is about this overwhelm, was when I thought the better thought, when I was like, is there a better thought that I can feel than being overwhelmed? Was like, wow, how lucky am I that I have all these people I love in one place, and we're just doing the simplest thing, and it's so much fun to just sit here at a table with all of them and listen to them tell their little stories, and they're so excited to tell you. And I was like, you know what? Because this is a big thing for me. I have the grass is greener syndrome, big time. I'm always that person where I'm like, this is really fun, but can I be somewhere where it's more exciting? Probably, that in my head. And for the first time in a really long time, I was like, I don't want to be anywhere else right now. I just want to be sitting here listening to these kids tell me funny stories. And I don't want to be anywhere else. I don't want to go anywhere else. I don't need to go anywhere else. And that's a really nice feeling, because I think it takes gratitude and really stopping and listening to the next level. And I think those are what you guys just talked about. Two huge things. Take that breath, take that time, really be thankful for where you are and appreciate and be in that moment. And I heard one more, I just want to say this. I went for a walk today while they were doing their schoolwork, and I was listening to this guy, and he said something so profound. And they were talking about, it's on another podcast called The School of Greatness. And they were talking about gratitude and how important gratitude is. And he said, you know what I do every week? I read the obituaries every week, because it really puts everything into perspective, because obituaries are written a certain way. Obviously, it's sad that someone's died, but it celebrates their life and all the great things that they've done. And when you realize, hey, they're not here anymore, but I am, what great thing am I going to do? I was like, wow, that's really cool. It's like a really cool way to frame, like, get yourself centered and get yourself like focused. Like, hey, you don't know how much time you have. You better really focus on what you want, not what you don't want.
I agree with that. And I wanted to say one other little point here. What you're teaching the kids by example, by living the way that you're living and choosing the better thought. And maybe, I don't know how your sister parents, I don't know, I'm not even asking you to say anything, but I always thought when you have the opportunity to be a person that could be aware of yourself and aware of taking that next breath, and whether it's your own children like I parented mine, my kids grew up knowing about manifesting. My kids grew up knowing about all of this. I talked about this in front of my children, with my children, and they don't think it's strange. Like, this is just the way that they were raised. But what a great opportunity for them to learn that. It's like, I get the chills. I think it's great. I think all children should learn from a very young age how to go within, to look within, to be their own friend, to learn to breathe, to learn to not be overwhelmed. Because I think that and that's why I'm really excited too about our up and coming guest, Floramente, because the fact that she recognizes that there is something that should be done with children from a young age that could be, they could utilize the tools that we talk about now. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Why wait until it's the Princess and the Pea syndrome?
Exactly.
Until they're under 30 mattresses when you're 30 years old, when you could start teaching kids to look for it under the third mattress.
Yeah, and you know what's fabulous? You're gonna feel so excited, Donna. I mean, it's so crazy. And Kim, Donna first, my niece Maggie is a huge fan of Donna V, and she told me that she brought a social distancing buddy with her when she slept over. Also, this is for Kim. Isaac said to me, "Are you excited for?" Isaac talks so he's like a monotone voice. He's the cutest thing ever. He goes, "Are you excited for tonight?" I go, "Why?" He goes, "It's Manifesting Mondays." He's 9. He watches it. He's totally into it.
That's
and
so
he knows
awesome.
Manifesting Mondays. I was like, wow, buddy, you really know that? He's like, yeah, I watch it.
Isaac, if you're watching, we love you, but it's Open-Minded Mystics now.
I know, but I let him go because he manifests.
I have to share something that happened with me. So my son, it's his senior year, and I get this piece of mail. And so apparently it was an English essay that he had to write. And it was a letter to the person that had influenced him the most in his life up to this point. And he wrote all these beautiful things about me. But what he did say was, one of the things I'm always so impressed is that when you decide that something's going to happen, you always make it happen. And I was like, because I don't necessarily come right out and say to my kids, we're manifesting. I just do all the things that I do. When we're talking about, I say, well, let's find, well, isn't there a better way to think about that? And then I'll play with them. I don't say, we're going to play the what thought feels better game. I do it with them, right? So since they've been little, even when they were little, I used to grab their hands, and I still kind of did this until they were about 14. And we'd go into a store, and I'd say, okay, let's ask the universe that we're going to get all the things that we need, and it's going to be so easy, and we're going to spend this amount of money, and we're going to get everything that we need. And they'd be like, great. And we'd never, we'd play a game just to, do we need that? Do we not need that? And then when we get there, we'd always spend the money that I put out to spend, because I was always very upfront with them about what money is. And my kids both are pretty careful with money, because they knew what I had, what we could spend, and that kind of thing. But I think that if you just are honest with your kids and just do the best that you can, be the best version of yourself, that's the best way to teach them anything. Absolutely. Right? Just be the happiest version of yourself. Right. One of the things that I used to do as a child, that's probably one of the reasons I became a life coach, was I would go to the worst case scenario. I used to call it awfulizing. I would constantly awfulize everything, right? I would, okay, this thing's going to happen. Well, this will happen. And I mean, I really honestly think how I became so full of anxiety. And I when I hear my kids awfulizing, they even know the word awfulizing. I'm like, oh, well, you're awfulizing. Do you think that's maybe the worst case scenario? What other scenarios? And we just talk about what other scenarios could happen. Do you think that? And making them funny, just always make it funny. I mean, I'm not as funny as you guys, but I do. My kids think I am.
Well, that's what.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Tracy.
I just want to say something really quick regarding that, Kim, because I think it's so interesting that you say that, because this guy that was talking about the obituary said exactly what you're saying. He's like, you should think about the worst case scenario, meaning the worst case scenario is always, and then you die, right? He's like, do you think you're actually going to die from it? If not, then everything else seems like, okay, it's not that bad, right? And I thought that was a hilarious way to look at it. I mean, he did it just like you did, in an awfulizing that's hilarious in a funny way. And he's like, think about it. Are you going to die from this? Probably not. So the worst thing that happens is everybody laughs at you and you're embarrassed for 10 seconds. And I was like, that's a great way to look at things. It really is. So I love awfulizing. I'm going to.
Michelle B loves awfulizing also.
Yeah. The kids will love that.
Michelle B, I love that.
Yeah, they will love words. Made up words are awesome. Yeah.
I have a bunch of them.
I love that. I love that. So my question, Kim, is could you go over as a tool with us what a Rampage of Appreciation is, what you would use it for, and how we can do it ourselves. And if anybody has paper and pen, maybe you want to take some notes, this would be the definite time to do it. Oh, and I love this. This Michelle B just wrote, you could change it to awesomizing, which I love.
That's
I love it, Michelle.
I love that, Michelle. We're gonna do that.
I'm
writing them both down, awfulizing and awesomizing.
I love that.
Okay, so let's talk about a rampage of appreciation. When you're feeling completely overwhelmed, not a great time to go over rampage of appreciation. But when you find yourself starting to go from a decent place to so I hope Rob doesn't mind, but I'm going to share what happened the other day. The other day, my boyfriend started talking about things that he started, like talking about things that were possible, right? That were not so positive, right? And they weren't necessarily things that were true. They were just things that were possible out there. And how, he noticed a couple negative things in his life and he started to talk about them. So I just said to him, let's just start talking. Isn't it great you have such a great family? I mean, you have a great family and your parents are so kind and you have such great siblings, and you know what, everybody lives in a kind of nice house and you're all kind of educated and you all have conversations with each other where you're not screaming at each other if you disagree. Isn't it a beautiful thing? And that you guys can spend time together and actually have real conversations that are deep and meaningful. And isn't it great that your children were all those children were brought up in that environment and you all like to go outside together and you all and then I just kept going on, and he goes, wow, you made me feel so much better. I said, no, well, I was doing things in your life that I was talking about that were really true. Isn't it great that you have a business with clients and those clients are repeat clients and they show up every month and they pay you every month? Isn't that awesome? And they just keep showing up every single month and they don't all just go away. They just keep showing up every month and they all like you and you're so helpful to them. So a rampage of appreciation is you want to find a good idea and then follow up with a good idea, and they don't have to be anything. So you're outside and you're feeling okay. And so look for something. So it could be like, oh, look at the way the sun lands on that tree. And look at how the tree is so full of leaves. I love that the tree is so full of leaves in the summer. And look at all the different shades of green. Isn't it amazing that there's so many shades of green? And look at all the birds in the tree. And they make sounds and they all are different sounds and they all have different birds and they all get together and there's a circle of life. You could just go on and on. So the goal of a rampage of appreciation is to think about like a train. When the wheels start turning and you have a good thought and then you find another good thought and another good thought. And the way good feeling thoughts work is when you have one, you tend to have another, because that's the way it works. Now, if you don't have a great family and you just heard that, find something else. Not everybody has great families and that's okay. But you find those things that you can get on. That just happened to be something I knew he had tons of things I could talk about. If you live in a home and you have a bed and you have a bathroom and you are doing okay, find those things in your life and start to appreciate them. Appreciation is, I always say, even more important than gratitude. Gratitude is being thankful for what you have. Appreciation is just being thankful for everything. There's so much great stuff in the world. And the more you can fill your head with what is awesome in the world and start awesomizing. Thank you. And that's really what it is. It should be called a rampage of awesomizing, right? Because I bet you anybody, I've had clients who say, well, there's no way I could go on a rampage of appreciation. And I looked into their life for 3 minutes and was able to do it, right? But it is something you've got to practice. You're not going to, if you've never done it before, you've got to practice it. I've been practicing it for a really long time, so I'm pretty good at it. But anybody can.
Dawn said she's been doing it her entire life and she had no idea it had a name.
Well,
I know Dawn has been doing this her entire life.
Yeah, awesome. She's amazing. She awesomizes for sure. If you know Dawn, you know she awesomizes. But can you guys see me? Because I don't know what. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, I wanted to say that Kim, what you're saying is totally amazing, and I love it. It's so awesome. But I was one of those people that when you say I love doing things like you're saying, but Boswell got us these incredible books where it just asks questions about that. And when I do it every morning, listen to me, you're going to be so impressed. After I meditate, I get out my book when I have my candle and my light. Yep. And I just do one exercise every morning. And at first I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. This is going to be a pain in the butt. And then I realized once you start doing it, it just flows. And then my time is up and I'm like, oh, the space is over. I'm done. Yeah. So it really worked. Say that again.
The Artist Way, the morning pages. Have you ever heard of them?
No, I've heard of the Artist Way. I've never done it, but of course I've heard of it. But
what is it?
The Artist Way, we should probably present it here one time. I mean, it's a very big book. I mean, I did it with a group of women, and they have something called the morning pages. And basically, it's different than what I actually do, but it's just like writing. It's just getting in the habit of writing, because it's about becoming a writer, right? So it's getting in the habit of writing. And they say that you should do every morning, just do writing. But I do something else, which we were going to talk about. But I mean, I don't necessarily do the morning pages. I do the Book of Positive Aspects every morning. And I've been doing that for a really long time. I haven't been as good at it since June hit. I'm not going to, like, for me, there are some things that are absolutely non-negotiable. So my non-negotiable is my 3 good feeling thoughts when I get out of bed. I meditate twice a day. That's not negotiable. There's certain things that I do. I do this breathing technique by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Those are non-negotiables. My writing becomes very negotiable when I become very overwhelmed. Because right now I've been working from 6:45 to like 9 every night, 6:45 in the morning to like 9 every night. So this isn't over like a time in my life where I just got to bite the bullet and get through it so that I can get back to my writing. But the Book of Positive Aspects is another wonderful tool. And I've been using this for many, many years. And all you need is 3 minutes a day to do this, right? Like 3 minutes, 3 topics, a minute a topic. That's all I ask. 3 minutes a day, a minute a topic. And so will really help you with your Rampage of Appreciation. So what you do in the Book of Positive Aspects, and I always say start with 3 topics that you like, right? So my dog Biddy has been written about more than any other topic in my book, right? Because I love my dog. And there's nothing I really find annoying about my dog ever. Even like when she's being annoying, I still love my dog. Like she could do no wrong in my world. So if I'm looking so it will be like, I love Biddy. She's so cute. She's so snuggly. She's always so good to me. She always loves to give me kisses and she loves to snuggle up against me. She's so quiet most of the time, except for when the mailman comes. Oh, I love that she barks at the mailman and the mailman thinks it's cute. Like, so that will be in my Book of Positive Aspects about my dog. I might do positive aspects about the post office. Isn't it cool that we all like spend 50 something cents and we get our mail all the time? Yeah, like how seldom does the post office mess up? Like
exactly.
Really, think about all that. You could do positive aspects about the post office. I mean, even if you could say, oh, the post office, they're not now. But isn't it very cool that we all can send out a piece of mail?
It is very cool.
Yeah, honestly. It's super cool when you really think about those things of like, isn't it amazing that, and all these things, public transportation, isn't it amazing that it runs the way it does, and we figure out where we're going and people figure it all out and that things don't crash, and it like there's an amazing way to do that. But I have a question. So the Book of Positive Aspects, is that an actual book or that's just something that you do?
This is my current Book of Positive Aspects.
Okay. So, it's a diary. It's like you make it. It's not a book.
Yeah. So normally it says I've been doing this for so long and this one's very, very small. So I could be done with this in like a couple of weeks. But I normally write the Book of Positive Aspects somewhere in it.
Right.
And it's only a book of positive aspects. I mean, if somebody came into my house and read it, they would be like, wow, she has the best life ever, right? Because 3 topics a day, that's all I ask. 3 topics a day. What's so great about it is it gets you to look for positive aspects of things. Because most people will talk about the post office and complain about them. But if you could try to write for a minute of positive aspects in the post office. In my town, there are 3 post offices. In my own town. Wow. How cool is that? Like, really? Like, how often do you find yourself looking for things that are positive? And I know it sounds silly, but
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't sound silly.
It doesn't sound silly. Listen, today I was now I'm listening to more podcasts. I'm listening to things, and I was listening to the radio as I was driving, and I thought to myself, the amount of work it takes for that to be done, where there's commercials played, there's somebody saying, tomorrow we're going to have, Cole Swindell back, or whoever else that you're thinking of. And to have all that stuff line up, I mean, I just think that it's amazing. I'm always fascinated, just even from what we do and how we're still at the baby steps where we still have to find out a way to input an intro and an outro and all these different things, because it doesn't just happen somebody makes it happen, but the world seamlessly seems to, just keep moving forward. I felt that way when we were in quarantine, and I'm like, but you know what? The positive thing is that the garbage men came, and I am so appreciative, and I've always been for the pizza man and the garbage man. But if you think about that, there are so many people that are like, oh, they're stuck behind a garbage truck, and they're like, this guy's going to take forever. You know what? Those guys didn't show up. We would be sitting there'd be fleas everywhere, and it would be
a world of funk.
I love the garbage man.
Also mention something, because I really do. I have an actual whole clip on Road Rage that everybody should watch. I really do think that the car is a great opportunity for us to really learn how to find our inner self, right? Because most of us can lose our mind in the car. It's really easy to go off. But if there is someone in front of you going super duper slow, maybe the universe is reminding you to slow down, or maybe the universe is protecting you from something out there. So if you spend some time blessing that person, bless you. One of the things that I always used to say, every once in a while, I'll be like, bless you.
Bless you. Yeah, exactly.
But really, if you start, like when you're in the car, the other thing that you could do is one of the things I teach in my course is spreading light and spreading blessings. I call it like the spreading of blessings. You send blessings to everybody around, and these are the blessings. They're not like bless you, because that means nothing to you, right? But you could say, I hope that the universe hands you this. I hope that the universe gives you $10 today. I hope that someone makes you feel really happy today. I hope that, you meet somebody that you really like today. I hope that, you get an opportunity that you've been looking for today. The things that you want. That's a great blessing to hand out all day long. Absolutely. It can make you feel really good. And so people are always like, oh, you're so happy. I'm like, yeah, because I spend a lot of time setting blessings,
right?
Working on the positive aspects of things.
You're working on it. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's not hard work. It's fun work.
It is fun work. One thing I do, which is so weird, and I never knew that I did this, but now that this is coming around, this totally makes sense to me. So I used to commute into New York every day. And if anybody here spends any time in New York, especially during rush hour, it can be absolute mayhem. And I would always, no matter the weather, and everyone was like, you're crazy, but no matter what the weather is, I would walk from Port Authority to my offices, which were 57th and 7th. So it's a long walk. It's like a 25-minute walk. But I loved it because I love New York, the energy of the people and how crazy it is. But in the morning, I would literally do this, guys, and I didn't know I was doing this. I would put my headphones in and put on classical music, and I would say to myself, the cool thing about New York is it's like a choreographed ballet.
Yeah.
Like people will move just when they're supposed to move. And it's like, because I would always say, how do we get through the streets and not be banging into each other all the time? It just seems to work. And I would put the music on, and I'm telling you guys, people would just move right as I was coming. It was like a choreographed ballet. It was so cool. And the music would make it great. And when you do that, it's such a fun way to walk to work. Like I would look forward to my walk, and I was like, I wonder what's going to happen today. And I never banged into anyone. We never did the things you see in movies where people are knocking into each other and everything falls. People would just get out of the way. Without having to say anything.
But do you know that part of that is because you were in such a positive mood and you were putting that out there? You were listening to Rage Against the Machine, and I love them too. So I'm just saying, because it really does. I mean, think about how powerful music is. Why do you think when we listen to guided meditation, there are different sounds? You have sounding bowls, you have gongs, you have all these different Tibetan chanting. It's all sound because it really does something to us. When teachers are trying to get children to calm down, they put classical music on because their heart rate lowers to go with the sound of the music. And I think that that's why when you go, just the same as when you go to a concert and you feel exhilarated when you're there, like when's the last time, well, maybe you haven't gone to an EDM concert, and you're standing there and you just don't move. Like you just can't help.
Right.
Move. Music
you have to
so
move.
Powerful. I love music.
I love that. That's awesome. I also want to mention something that I think I told you guys about this situation. So the other day I was at work, and somebody sent me an email, and when I read the email, I got like because it felt like this person was treating me in a certain way, and I made an assumption, right? I made an assumption, but thankfully I have done a lot of work on myself for a really long time. So I got really quiet and I got really angry for about a minute. And my work partner was like, You okay? I'm like, I'm just pissed. Right? And so I did the work. I'm like, do I really understand what happened? Am I making assumptions here? Am I taking this personally? Help me see this. And I'd always say, so my thing is, let me see this through the eyes of spirit. Let me see this through the eyes of spirit. Let me see. And then I took the guy and I said for a little while, I said his name and I say, I forgive you and I release you. I release you to spirit. His name. I forgive you. I release you. I release you to spirit. He came to me, right? And we had this call. Did we talk about this? And he came to me and he said, I had a conversation. I said to him, did you mean? And he said, no, I didn't mean that at all. I'm so sorry. I would never have meant it that way. And I'm so glad that I did all that work, because I might have just been nasty to him, right? If I hadn't done all that work. But I said, did you mean, okay, because I heard when you said, and then it was so funny. I was at work, about 10 minutes later, my work partner said to me, oh, she's back. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, you're singing again. I had stopped. I'm always singing at work. Right. And she's like, you stopped singing all morning. I thought, I've never really experienced the non-singing you, because I don't even hear that I'm singing under my breath all the time, because I'm usually in a pretty good mood. So
she's a Disney princess. You're like a Disney princess. Yeah. Sometimes, and I'm going to share this too, when I'm walking around and when you're talking about with the kids, Tracy, you should try this. If something strikes me and it gets me into like a kind of a cranky mood or something, I don't know, a bill collector call when the kids were little, something, right? And you just don't want it to infest their world, because it's not for them to have to worry about, right? I used to walk around and pretend that I was in a movie. Like you're talking about, you're going through the streets of New York and it's a choreographed dance. I was literally like on a movie set, and I would always picture that they were the directors and they were sitting in these director chairs, and at any given time they could yell, cut, that was not nice. And it really made me stand up a little bit straighter as a mom.
That's cool.
And I do the same thing at work. I try to do that, which is why, and I mentioned it to you, that I have a new person that's working with me or working for me. She's an assistant. She's like lovely, and she's
wonderful,
and she's kind. And you know what? She sees that part of me, right? Now, listen, we can make jokes, and I'm sure that like there's some people that know I've had down days. We've all gone through a lot this past year, and I've not always, taken the highest road. I've definitely sunk down to a part, like maybe I'm not really happy with myself, and I can beat myself up better than anybody else ever can. So, but I've had to like give myself a break a little bit. But I think to myself, you know what? If someone thinks that is how I am or who I am, and I like what they think, why would I ever want to like change the way that they look at me by just reacting in a crazy way? Not that it's disingenuous. It's just like, obviously if someone sees that part of you, or the kids see that part of you, or your children or your coworkers see that part of you, like the singing part of you, we all have an opportunity to sink. I mean, like not every moment is going to be filled with helium and
that's true.
But you got to stop and think for a minute and say, am I going to really tarnish my own reputation because of a low moment? So that's when you do pivot and you do think of that better feeling thought, and you start that work and you utilize the tools that Kim talks about all so often. Because if you can take that extra time to do it, guess what? You don't have to take extra time to do. Apologize.
Yeah.
Or try to look better, or try to repair the damage on the side swipe of that relationship. Like, it just costs more. You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely no, what is it, like car insurance? Like there's no deductible to a friendship.
Yeah.
You don't want to have to use my deductible up because I decided to like sideswipe our relationship by acting a certain way. Just take a breath.
You don't have to use the BS line of, I was kidding, right? I was kidding, right?
Yeah. I didn't really mean it. You know that we're already at 54 minutes?
No, I know. It goes so fast. Go ahead.
I want to mention something. All these tools, they really do. One of the things that I like when people work with me is I make them practice them, because if you're listening and you're hearing these tools and you think, but I'm never going to do them, the person deciding that you're never going to do them is you. You can do all these tools. Just practice them. Just literally say, tomorrow I'm going to practice the what thought feels better game. Let me find another thought. That's why people come to me. I make them practice, and then I make them show me proof that they practice. And all you have to do is practice it a few days. And if you practice a few days, you'll implement it into your life. It'll become something you naturally do. And that's why the blessings and that's why that thing with the guy that I talked about, if it was 40 years ago, I know I'm that old, but if it was 40 years ago, I would have been mad for 6 days. 30 years ago, I might have been mad for 3 days. Now it was 30 seconds of my life where I did work on myself. I said, I'm feeling bad. I don't want to stay like this. I know I'm attracting from that negative feeling place, and I'm just not willing to attract what I don't want. And so that's why I did that. Am I taking, and then asked a probing question and got that kind of response. And we ended up like, even though he's a work person, there's always love there, like that when you're in that plane of higher thinking.
Yeah. It's interesting because with Tracy saying about the obituary, listen, at any given time, it could be, somebody could say end scene and cut. And you really want to go out.
It's a really good point.
On that note. Like I would like my movie to end on a really great note, maybe like a little sunset, I don't know, something like the
many years from now.
Well, years and years and years from now. And I was talking to somebody the other day that, was going through something of an illness, and I'm not going to share enough for anyone to know what it is. It was profound what she said. She said, I didn't want to die. And she went to the doctor and he said, listen, how old is it that you want to live to? And she said, I'd like to live to 100. And he goes, what if I can get you to 95? And it was just like, wow, it's just like, we have to realize that life is precious, that, we're no one's guaranteed whatever time we have here. Do what makes you happy. If it doesn't hurt somebody else, it's even better. But, that's why I love all the tools.
Amen.
Tracy,
watch Open-Minded Mystic.
What's that?
Any last words? You got a tambourine? You want to like sing a little gospel?
All the leaves are brown. No, I just want to say that those tools are fabulous. Like I said, I wrote them down. Book of Positive Aspects, Rampage of Appreciation, Thinking Better Thoughts, Taking Breaths. These are all things that we can be doing, but really implement them. I'm saying that from the novice, the complete novice who was like, yeah, right. This stuff's, that kind of attitude. They work. They work. Use them. Okay. That's what I'm just going to say.
I love it. You know what sound it is, right?
It's pulling card time. It's pulling card time.
Yeah, exactly.
Pulling card time.
Favorite deck right here.
What deck do we have today, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, we're still using our Healing with Angels Oracle cards because I really think that they speak volumes. It's not about romance. It's not about anything specific like that. I just think these are really beautiful angel cards. So that's why I like to share. You see my shirt? Manifest that.
I know. Love it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
My friend Christina gave it to me.
It's awesome.
I'm like, this is awesome. I love that people know that. Like, I think manifesting shirts.
What does it say? Manifest what?
That. Bleep.
Yeah.
But you can't see that it says that because it's in cursive.
That's right.
I know. Okay. Are you ready, ladies?
We're ready.
All right, let's go with Kim first. And anyone like Kim, this will be a card that we can say.
Do it.
I'm ready. Stop.
Okay. I heard this stop coming out. And I'm like, I've learned.
So make it a good answer.
I'm getting my cues better now. All right, the first one is surrender and release.
Okay.
And you have
here, but get it.
But you have been. If you're like, I want the party to happen, I don't care what it looks like. That's great. That's a complete acknowledgement that the angels are saying you're doing the right thing. And you're getting lots and lots of signs.
Oh, okay. I'll take them.
I love that.
Signs everywhere, the signs. I just got a good sign for you, Kim. I picked Jelly Belly off of Chris's desk, which is really dangerous because who knows what I'm actually eating. And it's pina colada. So that's a good sign.
I love it. Coconut.
That means you're going on a very tropical trip soon.
That sounds good.
Okay.
That's the vibe I got. All right, here we go. Stop.
Okay. I'm so excited.
Stop right there.
I gotta know right now. Before we go any further.
Oh, music.
We were just talking about that.
We were just talking about music.
I'll take that. Here's some music.
And miracles.
Music and Miracles.
Oh,
That's like the name of a bar.
Music and Miracles. Wait, a bar? I'm thinking about.
You're like, she's thinking strip club. I can tell.
I'm thinking Rhythm Method, okay?
Oh,
I'm thinking,
I know what you're thinking. All right, come on, Donna. Let's see what comes up for Donna B.
All right. And for me and for you and for all of you that identify with Donna B, this is going to be a card. Okay, great. Ooh, self-acceptance.
Self-identifying with Donna
There
B.
you go. That's not a message I've heard before. Thanks. My angels are Jack LaLanne and oh, and wait, how weird. The card turned over on the bottom.
How
what is it?
What's that mean?
It's music.
Oh, I think we're going to start a girl band called Even Minded Mystics.
Either that, exactly. Either that, or you know what happens? We're going to do Zumba, so I could be more loving and self-accepting.
I can't do Zumba. I just fall over my feet.
Yeah, I can't do Zumba. I'm that person in the class that is watching intently, and my brain just does not calculate it. It's like math class, where I'm just like, okay, I'm watching. I have no idea where we are. Same.
That's me.
Nice posters, Chris Quigley says. Nice.
Rock on!
Listen, this has been an amazing show. I'm so excited to be here again. Tracy Locke, Kim Mazzell, you're beautiful. Next week, our guest will be The Witch and the Apprentice. It is an amazing podcast. I've been listening. If you want to go check out The Witch and the Apprentice on Instagram, there is a link in their bio that will take you to listen to their podcast. It is a newer podcast. They are amazing. I cannot wait. And these ladies will probably learn a thing or two from them because they've got merch. They've got lots of stuff going on and intro and outro music. So I might want to ask them how.
They got it all together over there.
You might be asking, but I would tell you, I love listening to the accent. It's great. So, and I mean, there's just so, like you said earlier, so many people in our network that, we're meeting, and I'm listening to all sorts of people's meditations before I go to bed. And I hate that I'm forgetting the name. Ryan knows has pink in the title, but it has been like amazing. I'm like, I love it. Ryan, write it down. All right. You guys, ladies.
Oh my gosh. What a great thing. Hey, listen, awesome though, night. I want to say to everybody, go on to YouTube, subscribe, just takes 3 seconds. I'm the person that would never do that before. Now I do it all the time. Also like and share and do the same for Instagram and Facebook. Tell some friends. We are starting to build this incredible community. We would love to have you be a regular person in that community and bring your friends along because we are all learning together. We are on this journey together. We're wide open for anything. And when you're positive and like that, anything can happen. So why not? Let's take it up a notch. Let's take it up 10 notches.
It's Lost in Pink, not Plink. Lost in Pink. Lost in Pink. Check them out on YouTube. Amazing guided meditations.
I'm writing it down.
I'll check it out.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a great one.
Have a great one. Bye.